Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Slogan here, and in this video we're going to be speed testing the Shell Classic vehicle in Jailbreak. So if you're wondering how to obtain this vehicle, you have to go to the new safes and then go to legendary safes, and it will be in one of the legendary items in the legendary safe. And you only have a 3% chance of getting a legendary item, so it'll probably take quite a bit of try to get down. Let's see, we're really lucky, I don't know. But I did actually obtain every single item in all of these safes. I actually did that on one of my streams. You could probably go watch it. I might like make a, I think I'm gonna make a video about like spending like 19 million, was it like 19-20 million cash in like a single night, so I might like make a separate video about that. So yeah, that'll be out some point, I'm sure. But you could also go watch the stream for yourself if you want to see me lose like 19 million, 20 million cash or something like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this speed test here. So we have the Shell Classic here up against the Model 3 for the first race. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself the force field gun before I forget that, and let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm sure you remember Ice Do. I don't think he hasn't really been on one of my speed test videos in a while, but yeah, they are on the speed test video today, so they're going to be participating. I haven't seen them in a while, but yeah, they are joining us today on the speed test. So how this force field gun works, in case you don't know, I'm gonna shoot it on the road, and then once it disappears, then you go. So, you know, I'm sure you've done that in Jailbreak Motorsport quite a bit of time. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And as soon as that, you know, as soon as the force field is gone, we'll go ahead and start the first race. Okay, so Shell Classic has won the first race. Okay, yeah, you're still like way over there. It won by quite a bit, it seems like. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the second race. Okay, so for the second race we have the classic, the Shell Classic, oh my god, up against the NASCAR 100K version. Okay, well, it looks like the NASCAR 100K version has won of that race, but there's still many more races to go, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Cybertruck. If you can go ahead and move up a little bit. Okay, Shell Classic has won. Okay, not too far behind, I suppose. Okay then, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Challenger. Okay, well, Shell Classic won, but it doesn't seem like it won by much. The Challenger is like right behind it, so it doesn't win by too much. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Agent. Okay, Shell Classic wins again, but like the challenger, it doesn't seem to have won by that much. I think the agent was going like even like a little bit faster than challenger actually. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the DeLorean. Okay, Shell Classic has won. Okay, you're like over there. Seems like Shell Classic, it won by like a decent amount. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Beam Hybrid. Okay, I kept going a little bit because I thought you were like, I could have sworn you were like catching up a little bit, but I could have been wrong. Like I saw on the minimap you were like catching up a little bit. So it seems like the Shell Classic has higher acceleration, but the Beam Hybrid seems to have very, very, very similar top speed, if not a little teeny bit faster, because I could have sworn you were catching up. I don't know. But you can always look back on the minimap if you want to see, but I think they were catching up, but could this be me? But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the next race. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Raptor. Okay, Shell Classic has won again. Whoa, you're like way over there. It's still looks like the Shell Classic won by quite a bit there, so yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Lamborghini. Okay, Shell Classic has won. Lamborghini's still a little bit behind. Shell Classic won by a decent amount. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, next up here we have the Shell Classic up against the Torio. Okay, Torio has won that one. It seemed like the Shell Classic has like slightly faster acceleration, but the Torio pretty quickly catches up on top speed. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, next up we have the Shell Classic up against the Airtail. Alright, you already crossed the finish line, so just like similar to the Torio, Shell Classic has a little faster acceleration at first, but then the Airtail then catches up on top speed, except in this case the Airtail has even higher top speed than the Torio, so yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so for the final race, we have the Shell Classic up against the Torpedo. Okay, well, just like the Torio and the Airtail, I didn't expect the Shell Classic to accelerate a bit faster than Torpedo, but I guess it does. The Torpedo, as you may know, has a much higher top speed, so yeah, that's it for that race. Okay, so let's gonna go ahead and wrap up this speed test here. So if I were to give a conclusion on the Shell Classic, it's a well, I mean, it accelerates like really quickly, and its top speed is like mid-range, so like it's a pretty decent car. Like if you're trying to get somewhere like quickly, you know, if you're trying to run a power plant, like it's a decent car for that. Like I mean, Roadster would be better, Volt Bike would be better, but it's still a decent car for like you know, getting somewhere quickly, because it does have really high acceleration. And its top speed is like mid-range, like it's not too slow, but it's not too fast either, if that makes sense. So Ice Dew, if you were to give your own conclusion on the Shell Classic car, what would that be?
Overall, this is not what I would call a grind car. However, I think you would be perfectly fine using this in a public server. Like, just floating around between cops, you could easily outrun a cop in this. It's not by any means bad in terms of performance. It's got good acceleration, and it overall just feels like a really nice car. Not to mention that Ed did a really good job on designing this car too. Although the main thing is, it's not going to be very rare for very long. For now, it's going to be kind of high demand, since it's going to be very difficult to pull it from safes. But eventually, since you can just trade away these vehicles and keep getting more as time goes on, there's going to be a lot of shells on the market. So if you don't want to like use a bunch of money to buy a bunch of 100k safes, you can wait and trade for it later once there's more of them out in the market. But overall, I'd say it's a solid vehicle. No downsides to it whatsoever, aside from maybe top speed.
Alright, well, you heard what they said, so yeah, I won't really go over that conclusion too much. You could just, you know, take their word for everything. So, yeah, yeah. So that is going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. So, if you did enjoy this video and you found it helpful and entertaining, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. That really helped me out, and you can always change your mind later. And be sure to turn on notifications so that way you don't miss out on new content that I post here on the channel, such as speed tests like this one, if you know that's your thing. But yeah, that is going to be it, and I will see you all in the next video.